morning, students. I am Salunge TB, a teacher from Sri Shivaji Vidya Mandir and Junior College, Aun. I welcome all of you in this session of English language. Students, in the earlier session, we completed the poem "Have You Earned Your Tomorrow" written by Edgar Guest. So today we are going to deal with the appreciation of poem. The topic in this session is how the poem is appreciated. So when we appreciate the poem, when we appreciate any poem, this poem is appreciated at a different level. The points like the title of the poem, theme of the poem, style of the poem, message the poem conveys. So at the level of all these points, the poem is appreciated. To appreciate poem means when we go through poem, we have to discuss all these important, all these significant points in the appreciation. So what did I tell you? We have to discuss the title of the poem. We have to discuss the theme, the central idea of the poem. We have to discuss the special linguistic features that those come under the title style of the poem. We have to discuss the values or the message the poet wants to give to the readers. And if apart from all these points, if you want to add your own opinion, you have that freedom. You can add your own opinion about that particular poem. So let us discuss all these points one after another. So the title of the poem is "Have You Earned Your Tomorrow," written by Edgar Guest. We are going to appreciate the poem "Have You Earned Your Tomorrow," written by Edgar Guest. So let us discuss the first point, the title of the poem. What is the title of the poem? The title of the poem is "Have You Earned Your Tomorrow." So the title "Have You Earned Your Tomorrow" is in a verbal question form. If you look at the title carefully, the title is in the form of verbal question. From the title, it seems that the poet's attempt is to question the readers about their contribution for other people in society at present. It can be said that the title is an appeal not only for the readers of this poem but also all kinds of people around us. The word in the title, if you look at the title of the poem, the word in the title "tomorrow" seems to refer to our future, which is the result of our deeds and treatment to other people at present. So in this way, we have discussed a little bit about the title "Have You Earned Your Tomorrow." Now let us come to the second point in the appreciation of the poem. And what is the second point? Theme of the poem. Sometimes it is also called the central idea of the poem. So if we look at each and every line of the poem, so it seems that the poem "Have You Earned Your Tomorrow" presents some direct questions which probe how people spend their present time. It is a kind of an investigation the poet is making about the reader's everyday approach to other people. In this poem, the poet is directly asking the readers whether they have done anything to improve the life of another human being or not. So the central idea of this poem is that it is up to you whether you will have better future or not. So this is what the poet is trying to tell us as a theme, as a central idea of the poem. Have you earned your tomorrow? Now let us come to the third point we are going to discuss in the appreciation of the poem. And what is the third point? Style of the poem. So when we discuss the style of the poem, normally we deal with the format of the poem, the tone of the poem, similarly the structure of stanzas in the poem, whether the poet has used other literary devices like figure of speech, rhyme scheme, etc. So in the style of the poem, we are supposed to discuss all these points. So if you look at the language of this poem, the language used in this poem is very simple. The poem is divided into 4 stanzas. These are quatrains. The poet has made the apt use of verbal questions to convey his message to the readers. The first line of stanza rhymes with the third line, and the second line rhymes with the fourth line in each stanza of this poem. The tone of this poem is optimistic. So the poet has also used the literary devices like figure of speech, interrogation and alliteration in this poem. So this is what we have discussed about the style of the poem. Now let us come to the next point, that is values, message. So when the poet writes a particular poem, definitely the poem has a particular type of message through the poem. So this poem, Have You Earned Your Tomorrow, inspires to do good for others, to have better future. Our life is meaningful only if it is useful for humanity. Our future depends on what and how you perform today at present. The clear message of this poem is that our future is the result of how we behave, how we treat other people around us. If our deeds and actions are good at present, definitely we will have bright and better future. So in short, the message of this poem is that if you perform your deeds and action for other people, needy people, if you use sympathetic words, kind words for other people, so definitely the people will also become happy and you will also become happy. So this is the message the poem conveys. So we have discussed all these points: title of the poem, theme of the poem, style of the poem, and the message the poem conveys. Apart from all these points, if you wish, if you intend to add your own point in the appreciation of poem, you can go ahead. For example, if I want to add my own opinion about this poem, so I can add the opinion like this: really, the poem is inspirational in tone, as it encourages us to treat or behave with other people with sympathy and kindness. This poem changes our attitude toward the people who need your help or words of sympathy. Our timely help makes us happy as well as these people. So in this way, in the appreciation of the poem, we have to discuss all these points like title of the poem. Sometimes you can be asked to discuss about the poet, about the poem, about the title of the poem. And the second point is theme of the poem or central idea of the poem. The third point is style of the poem, style in the poem. In the style, we have to discuss the focusing element, the linguistic features the poet has used in the poem. And the last significant point is the message, because when we read, when we study any poem, every poem has a particular type of message for the readers. So after studying the poem, we should be able to write down what type of message the poem or poet conveys to the readers. And finally, if you have something to add in the appreciation of poem, you can write in the appreciation of the poem. So this is how we have discussed all the points in the appreciation of the poem Have You Earned Your Tomorrow, written by Edgar Guest. So I hope that you must have understood what different types of points we have to discuss in the appreciation of the poem. So I stop here. Thank you.